Good evening, Professor.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, what's going on? Oh my God. All right. We'll start in a few minutes.
Good evening, Professor.
I sent you that thing.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you so much.
Okay. I think we're going to have a class on Monday. So Monday, I'll have a class at about the same time. I'll make an announcement. That way, to get everybody's grades up to help everybody get their grades up. Some people are doing really well, some aren't. So I'm not, those who are doing well, continue on. And those who are not doing well, this is your opportunity to shine. So I'm going to have an additional class. Oh, wait, I'll just wait. I'll say something in a minute. You know how you're doing. You can see your grade. I don't have to tell you that. You know everyone knows how they're doing. I don't have to tell anybody how they're doing. They can see their grade. One of the worst things I've seen since I've been teaching this class is someone doing really well during the semester and they bomb out on the final. I've seen that. Now, with this is the pandemic, so you have access to more of you have more access to the formulas than you would if you were in the classroom. So take advantage. I'm not saying, you could do more. You could do more. Just write out your formulas. Okay. Class, to let everybody know, I'm going to have a class on Monday. This Monday, the 10th, I'm going to add an additional class, right? It's better that we're ahead than me trying to do a catch up, right? So I'm going to add an additional class. You don't have to come, that's your prerogative, but I'm going to have a class. I'm going to add it on, or you'll be able to sign on just like you would. And it's going to be on Monday. I'll have it around 8 o'clock, same time, so it doesn't throw everybody off. And then we'll try to do as much as we can. And we have Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And then you have your exam on the 25th. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Okay. I was very impressed by what I saw for homework 9. I saw a lot of hundreds. I'm really happy about that. Just make sure that carries over to our final, right? Just do the same thing you did. Don't panic. Don't get nervous or anything like that. Just take your time. And I was very impressed with that. A lot of people got 100, and that was good. And also on the homework, because they were basically the same questions. That's why I did that, to create confidence. So we're going to do the same thing for tonight. We're going to go over homework 9, so we don't have to go over the quiz. It's the same exact questions, I believe they were. And also, we're going to review again for the midterm. Now, as I said, I'm adding a class I'm adding an additional class. I see a couple of people walking in late, coming in late. I'm adding an additional class on Monday night, right? I rather for us to be on Thursday night. We're just asking questions about what we should do instead of like running around and in a state of panic. So, my grandmother used to have a saying, you don't look for your bed when you're tired, when you're sleepy. You should always have your bed ready. So, in other words, always be prepared. All right. All right, let's start with question. Let's go to 9. Hold on, give me 1 second. I wanted to set something straight. Someone just asked me how they were doing in the class, right? You see your grades, right? And I said at the beginning of the semester, the homeworks that weren't done are going to get zeroed out, right? The homeworks that weren't done are going to get zeroed out, meaning you're going to get a 0 for them, right? So you see how you're doing. I don't make up your grades. You do, right? So you know how you're doing, right? Some are doing really well and some are just, are there. But like I said, I want everybody on the same page. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so basically it says Daily Enterprise is purchasing 9.9 machine. It will cost $52,000 to transport and install the machine. The machine has a depreciation life of 5 years and have no salvage value. The machine would generate increment revenue of 4.1 million along with incremental cost of 1.3 million. If daily marginal tax rate is 35%, what are the incremental earnings? Okay, so I know that this is how it's going to look, right? I'm going to put the 4.1, which is my revenue that I'm taking in, minus the 1.3 cost, and minus the 9 million plus 52,000 divided by 5. But the first thing you do in this, you do the 9.9 plus 52 divided by 5. That's the first thing you should do with this problem, right? You go into the order of operation, and then you make your subtraction, right? And then after that, the answer you get for that, you're going to say times 1 minus 0.35, which is 0.65, right? I can't stress this enough, and I'm going to tell you this. Don't get mad. Don't say I sound like a broken record. Most of you don't know what I mean by that. But make sure you copy these formulas, because when you're rushing, you're going to make a mistake, right? If you're not careful. So I want confidence to be built, right? 4.1 minus 1.3. But the first thing you're going to do, you're going to say 9.9 plus 52,000 divided by 5. That's the first thing you're going to do. And once you have that, you can do your subtractions. Once you make your subtractions, then you just multiply it by the tax rate, which is 1 minus 0.35, which is times 0.65. And your answer is 526,240, right? In this question, right? 526,240. Okay, so let's move on. Now the mini March, right? This one is you put down the 10.3 mini March this year, right? But you have to do it one at a time. Everybody knows that, right? One at a time, 10.3 and 2.2 rise each year, right? 10.3 and 2.2. Now for the first one, you're going to say 1 for this one right here. To get this number, you're going to say 1 minus 0.39, which is 0.61. So 10.3 times 0.61, right? The answer you get for that. And then 2.2 times, right, over here, 0.77 minus 0.23, right? 1 minus 0.23, which is 0.77. So 2.2 times 0.77 and 10.3 times 0.61. This answer should always be negative because that's the cost of goods sold. Then you get your gross profit. You have your expenses that are always negative, right? Now you come down here, you're going to have a negative number, right? Then you take the income tax at 35%. You take 35% of this, not the tax rate. It says 35%, right? That's what it is. So you take 35% of this, 35% of 77,000. Now, in a business, when you lose money, you get money back. Think of it the same way with you as a person, right? If you pay more taxes than you're supposed to, you're going to be getting money back. If you claim a loss, you're going to be getting money back. So here we lost money. Earnings before interest and tax, we didn't make anything. So the first year, so we're going to have a debit here. So we're going to have a negative balance. The second year, right, it's 8.3, right, and 2.2. You do the exact same thing, right? 8.3 times 1 minus 0.39, which is 0.61, right? And then you say 2.2 times 1 minus 0.23, which is 0.77. And this is the number you come out with, 6,757,000. Then you're going to have this number right here, 3 million. There are no expenses, there are no depreciation. So that number comes down. Now, you've made money, so you have to pay income tax, 35% of the 3,743,000. And that's what you get right here. Where people usually mess up is right here. This part right here. And I would, if it were me, I would look at this video again, where it becomes like a movie, where you know it, just like a movie, you know what the actor is going to say, right? So that's what you have to do. And then also go over it. The homework is there. Go over it again and do it with the homework, where you're doing it and you're not panicking. All right, let's move on. This one right here, this is a free cash flow. Now the formula calls for when the forecast, you have to subtract the forecast, but when it decreases in working capital, you add it back on. Yes. I can't see that. Tell me later. I think I saw something says, okay, hold on. Let me answer that. Yes, yes. Only quiz. No surprises. That's why everyone should do well. There are no surprises on my exams, right? No surprises. Give me 1 second. Let me bring that back. Okay. So what happens here, this becomes a double negative, which means that you add it back on, right? 1 million plus 200,000 plus 100,000 is 1.3. This one right here, this, as you are finished, you add back the depreciation. What happens where everybody messes up, they forget to add the depreciation back in there, or they subtract it again instead of adding back on. I'm just letting you know how I saw things, right? So we know that 1.027 is your cost of goods sold. I'm sorry, your sales. Cost of goods sold is always going to be negative. Your gross profit is a positive number. Depreciation is negative. Now you've made money. So of course the tax is going to be negative, and you're going to have 264 in earnings. Now when you want to present this to your investors, right, you're going to add back the depreciation, because the higher your numbers when you're running a business, the better it is for you, right? You always want your numbers to look higher. Here, everything's the same. However, what they do is you don't add the negative. You just put it and you know which one's a negative in there, right? So 5.3 minus 3.180 minus the depreciation, and then you get the earnings before interest and taxes. The rate is 35%, which is 602. Your earnings are 1.118, right? And then your depreciation is 400,000. Your net working capital increased from 200 to 305. So that becomes a negative, right? And then your free cash flow is 1,413,000, right? Know which ones that are going to be, you see where your earnings are, right? The depreciation gets added back on at the bottom after your earnings, right? And your net worth capital. So these numbers, right? When your net worth capital increases, right, you have less money. So you subtract. Big question on the exam right here. Big question, right? First thing first. First thing first. First line is a negative. This is out of pocket. First thing, I'm losing money, right? I'm not losing money. I'm buying something and I'm shelling out the money. So it's a negative on day one, day zero, right? I shelled out 10,400,000 plus the 50,000 to transport the piece of the crane from Brooklyn to Staten Island, right? So I'm out this money, 10,450,000, a negative. Now you're going to calculate the free cash flow for 5 years. So we're going to say 3.9 minus 1.1, and then we're going to say minus 10,450,000 divided by 5, and then the tax rate, and then we add back the depreciation. So it's going to look like this. Just like this. 3.9 minus 1.1. But you do this first. Right? 10,450,000. Then you get your tax rate. Right? You get your after-tax earnings. Excuse me. Then you're going to add back the depreciation for 1 year. The free cash flow for years 1 through 5. Right? So you're going to say 461, and then you're going to get one of those because you're dividing it by 5. And then that's it. That's it. And you add it. So this will be your free cash flow for years 1 through 5 would be, that's what you can charge, right? That's what you'd be making. Now, the depreciation, right? One of the things that always throws people off, well, why are we taking it out, put it back in? Because remember now, what it does, it reduces your taxes because it's like an expense, right? So that's how you have to look at it, right? And write these little things down. Have your little notes. One of the worst things I've seen, and I've done this myself, is to write a note to myself and don't understand why I'm doing it. Right? Be clear. Be clear. Even if you have to type it or do it on Word, whatever it is, be clear about what you're doing, about your steps. Be clear about where you're moving your decimal points. Right? Be clear about these things. And then that way you won't have an issue. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? Okay.
Okay, what's the difference between the pro forma earnings and the pro forma cash flow? Like, what's the difference?
Which one over here?
No, there's two. I think there was 2 questions, right? And then it keeps on asking, like at the end of each question would say, like, what's the pro forma?
You know, who's asking me this, Rosa?
No, Kristen.
Kristen, okay. One of the things I noticed was that we had this question before, right? And the thing is, one of them is showing where your earnings have the depreciation is not accounted for, and the other one does.
Yes, that was confusing for me because usually we take out and we put the parentheses for the depreciation, and then
Right.
the following one, the things that you entered into the income, that statement, you would put those things in. So it was probably wrong.
So the thing is that one of them, I think that you added back on, the other one you don't.
So the cash one?
I believe so. But listen to me. What we've just gone over, right? You see how this looks?
Yes.
This is exactly how it's going to look on the test.
So we could expect to see one of these or 2.
I'm not saying the same numbers, of course. Just follow this format. Right? Follow the format. You can see the 210 to 300, you know that's a negative 90. If it was 305,
I know now. I just wanted to know the difference. Like, I didn't understand because I'm so used to, like, when I do this certain things, like always take out. It's just like something I'm used to. Or for the taxes, like it's just a certain format. Other classes that I've gotten used to.
Okay.
Thank
Fair
you.
question. Yeah, you're welcome. But one of the things that I want everybody to see is that when you see this, and all of a sudden you get, you get worried, right? Just follow the same thing, one step by step, step by step. Just read it and you go step by step. It tells you cost of goods sold, you would be depreciating 1.5. You see it for 5 years, right?
Professor, we can't see what you're reading if you're sharing. You're not sharing.
I'm sorry. Right? You see the depreciation 1.5 for 5 years, right? So I know that I'm going to divide this 1.5 by 5, and that's going to be my depreciation. Right? Everything is there, right? And I know that's going to come out as a negative, right? And then after the earnings, it's asking me the depreciation again. You got to add it back on, right? Because I want to show how well what the company's doing. Okay?
This one is just for cash flows, right? That's it. So the
Right.
ones where it says cash flow, basically, you don't take out the depreciation. You just leave it. You add it back in. Is
No,
that
you
what-
do take it out. You take it out over here.
We're not taking it out. Okay.
And then you put it back in here.
Oh, I got it. But see, you don't put parentheses or negative, so that it's a little. That's what was
No,
confusing.
no. See, that's the whole thing about this problem. This problem is to see if you understand it.
Hmm.
This is the negative, and this is the positive.
That's the confusing part. But I got it now. Thank you.
Right. Right. Now remember, after your earnings, if you have depreciation, you have to add it back in. Before you get to this part, earnings before interest and taxes, if you have depreciation, it's negative. Got it?
Yes. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Let's go into by the way, some people weren't around. Someone just left. And I just want to say that we're having an additional class on Monday at 8 o'clock. I'm having an additional class. And then we'll have another class on Tuesday and Thursday. If we need be, we'll go over any little things. I'd rather us to be ahead than to be behind. That's the last time I'm going to say this. All right. Let's go into let me just see something. Hold on.
Professor, is there going to be any curve?
No
Quiz?
curves.
No
No
curves.
curves. Okay. So let's go here. Okay, now look at this problem right here. Okay, So remember what I said?
Share it.
Oh, we're not sharing. Okay. Remember what I said when you are using this formula, right? It says that today is your 24th birthday, right? So 24 minus 65 is 41. So you add 1 to it, right? Remember I said that. So in this situation, you're going to say n equals 42, IY equals 5%. We're solving for payment, right? Present value is 0. Future value is 3 million. And then you compute for payment. You should come out to 22,185. Is that right? What happened to my class? Can you guys see the screen?
Yeah, we can
Yes.
see.
So is the answer correct? I can't see that. You got to tell me. Yes. Okay, good. So remember in this question, right? When you subtract your birthday from 65, you add 1 to it. When you subtract your birthday from the 65, you add 1 to it. Not just subtracting and that's it. Okay, not just saying 24 minus 65, and then you're going to say n equals 41. No, n equals 42. And if that number, whatever this number is right here, when you subtract it from here, right, you add 1 to it. Okay. Now, this question is very important to know, right? You have just received a windfall from an investment you made in a friend's business. She will be paying you $49,556, and of this year, $99.112 at the end of next year, and $148,668. Okay, let me come up closer so I can see this. Right now, you need to calculate the present value of each one. You need to calculate the present value of each one. If this answer is wrong, then this is going to be wrong. And usually this is wrong. So be careful here. So we're going to do this together. So that way you get it, right? So the first one is to calculate the present value of the first year. Now, some of you, people tell me, well, you can put it on the calculator and it'll calculate. You put 1 and you put the number, you put 2, you put the next one, put 3. You make one mistake and the whole thing is wrong, right? So my advice for an extra minute and a half, this is the way you should do it, right? You're going to say n equals 1, IY equals 3.7, payment is 0. Future value is 49,556, and then compute for present value. You put that number to the side. Second one, you're going to say N equals 2, IY equals 3.7, right? IY equals 3.7. Payment is 0. Payment is 0, right? Future value is 99,112. And then you compute for present value, right? So the first one is N is 1. The second one, N is 2. And then the last one, N equals 3. IY equals 3.7, right? Payment is 0. Future value is 148,668. And then compute for present value. You add them together. Write it down. Write it down. Watch what you're doing. Write it down. Once you write it down, right, you should come out to 273, 269. And it tells you right there, round to the nearest dollar. Do not put any cents in there. Do not. Once you have gotten that number, then it says, what is the future value of your windfall in 3 years? So I, right, N equals 3, IY equals 3.7, payment is 0. Present value is 273, 269. That's the present value. And it says 3 years. So N equals 3, IY equals 3.7, payment is 0. Present value is 273, 269, and then you compute for future value. And you should come out to 304,738. Pay attention to these things here. Round to the nearest dollar. Do not put a decimal point in between the numbers. It should be a comma. Do not put a percentage over here, right? And do not put 0.0. You can put 0.00. That's fine. But get used to just doing it the way it is, right? Do not give yourself any headaches, right? And then this should be fine. But if this is wrong in your calculations, when you calculate this, that's going to be wrong. So taking the present value for each one, year 1, year 2, year 3, then you add it. Then on this one, you take the present value, right, of this, and then you're going to get this future value. You need to take the future value of this going out 3 years, and that's the amount here. Right? No shortcuts. No shortcuts. And you'll be fine. You will be fine. Right? We're gonna go over this one more time. I really want to do this one more time. Okay. So now, in this situation, right, you want to endow a scholarship that will pay $10,000 per year forever, starting 1 year from now. If the school endowment discount rate is 4%, what amount must you donate to endow the scholarship? So it's going to be 10,000 divided by 0.04, right? And then how would your answer change if you made the award today? So you know that you start out with 0. So it's not going to be 10 years, it's going to be 9. So N equals 9. IY equals 4. Payment is 0. future values 250, and then compute for present value. And you should come out with 175, 646, spot 68. Round to the nearest cents, round to the nearest cents. Now remember how this works. When we see this, we go from 9 years, not 10, because we start at 0. So if you're paying attention and you're riding along with me, you should have done it the same way, and you should come out with this answer. The more you use the calculator, the better you're going to get at it. Period. Right? Very simple. 9,000 divided by 0.08 gives you 112,500. Okay? So here we're solving for IY. Okay? Now, whenever you have present value and future value on the same problem, the present value is the money that's coming out of your pocket. So that's always a negative. Okay? So here we're going to say N equals 10. We're solving for IY, so we don't touch that. Right? Payment is 0. We started the account with $4,000. We went into the bank, we deposit 4,000. So that's going to be negative 4,000 for present value. Future value is going to be 10,000. Right? And then we compute for IY. We compute for IY. Now, the investment has grown to 10,000, right? And then the rate of return is 13. How much is it worth in 10 years? So N equals 10, IY equals 13, payment is 0, present value is 10,000, and then compute for future value. You should come out to 33,945.67. Right? The mistake that I saw, I've seen in this situation, people would take the $4,000. If the investment account earns 13% per year from now on, so you use the 10 grand, the 10,000. That's how you do this. And once you do this, right, you're going to come out to the 33,945.67. Right? Okay. So here, the situation is a yearly mortgage, right? This you're paying every year, right? As I said before, a lot of wealthy people do this. They pay their mortgage in one shot for the year, right? So here we have a mortgage of $250,000, but we're paying down $36,000. So we're financing 214, right? We're financing 214. So we're going to say N equals 30, IY equals 5%. We're solving for payment, right? Future value is 0, present value is 214, and then compute for payment, right? So keep in mind, it didn't say anything about monthly, nothing like that. The answer is annual. So everything is annual. So we're making everything annual. If it says monthly, then it's a different type of a question. This is not saying that. This is saying annual, right? So when it's annual, excuse me, when it's annual, everything is done in the same reflection, right? We don't change anything as far as like everything is calculated by year. But the mistake I always see is that sometimes people add the 250, the 36 into the 250. No. When you're putting a down payment on a house, right? What it is subtracting from the amount that you're financing, right? That's what a down payment does. Same thing with a car, same thing with if you want to finance, you want to buy an engagement ring or something, and you want to finance the rest, but you have 4,000 and the ring is 10,000. So you come in with $4,000 and you finance 6, and so on. Some guys walk in, or whomever it is, they're walking with the whole 10 grand and buy the ring. Right? Some people will come in with the whole 250 and buy the house, but that's not the case here. Case here, they're putting $36,000 down and they're financing $214,000. Okay. Here, this is a situation that happens with cars, right? And this is getting the present value, right? You buy a car, you have it for 1 year, and you want the payoff amount. But the thing with the payoff amount, what you have to understand is that in the payoff amount, you don't pay interest on it. You get the present value, because that means that you're paying off the car. So you're paying for up to that point interest, but you're not paying going out because you didn't have it. You're not going to have it. So in this situation, you need to calculate how much the payoff amount is. And this is how you would do it for a car, right? You have a car for a year and you don't like it. You don't like it, and your annual payment is $4,600. So you need to take the present value of those, right? So here's what you're going to do. You're going to say N equals 4, IY equals 5.6, right? Payment is going to be 4,600, right? Future value is going to be 0, and then compute for present value. And you should come out to 16,086.57. And in the second one, so we can keep it uniform, you do the same thing, right? N equals 1, IY equals 5.6, payment equals 4,600, future value 0, compute for present value. And you should come out to 4,356.06. Right? So to understand the logic behind this, I took out a loan and I want to prepay it. This is what this is actually saying, but you can't add the interest to it. Now, I'm going to tell you a little something. Let's say this was a mortgage right here, what we have right here. And I want to prepay my mortgage. A lot of time there's a penalty for that because the way the mortgage company makes their money is that they want you to pay the interest going out long term, right? When you prepay, sometimes there's a penalty for that, right? Because you're expediting matters and they're losing money. So sometimes that's why you hear this, they penalize you for paying up front. Okay. In this situation, right, we're going to say 4,000 divided by 0.09 minus 0.05, right? So it's 4,000 divided by 0.04, right? That should give you that, right? Is that right? Hold on one second. Just want to be sure. Right. And then what we're going to do, we're going to say 4,000, right, times, what is it again? 1.05, right? And then divide it by 9 minus 0.04. Right, so 4,000 times 1.05 divided by 0.09 minus 0.05, and you come out to 105. Here, this is a tricky question. It fools everybody, right? You're thinking of building a new machine that would save you $1,000 in the first year. The machine would then to wear out so that the saving decline at a rate of 2% forever. What is the present value of the saving? Is the interest rate is 5% per year. Now, it is the perpetuity. However, it's declining. So it's a double negative. So instead of saying 5 minus 0.02, you say 5 plus 0.05 plus 0.02. which is 0.07. So 1,000 divided by 0.07 is 14,286. Very tricky, very tricky. It gets everybody because what happens is you're reading it so fast, you see 2% year, 2% per year forever, and then you see the interest rate of 5%. You're thinking the perpetuity formula. You're right. You're absolutely right about that part. But you forgot this part right here, declining. So it's a double negative. Double negative means you add. So it's going to be 0.05 plus 0.02, which is 0.07. So 1,000 divided by 0.07. Okay, we went over this. I want to see something that I did not see, and that's bothering me. Hold on 1 second. Well, that must be on chapter 5. Okay, so here it says that you have a loan outstanding. It requires making 8 annual payments of 7,000 right at the end of the next 8 years. Right, your bank has allowed you to skip making the next 7 payments in lieu of one large payment term in 8 years. If the interest rate is 4%, what is the final payment? So we're going to say N equals 8, IY equals 4%, payment is 7,000, present value is 0, compute future value. You should come out to 64,499. Yes, is that wrong?
Professor, my question is that it is coming 64,499.58. So why it's not taking 64,500?
I don't know that. I wish I could answer some of those questions that you ask. Hold on 1 second. Let's see.
It will, otherwise we'll
It
get.
says, hold on. It says it has a tolerance of 2 cents. So it'll take 500, but it says to the nearest dollar. So if you, what did you get? 464 what? 499 point what?
64,
499.
64,499.58.
So if we were to round that to the nearest dollar, what would that be?
64,500.
Right. It will take that. It tells you right here. Look.
Actually, you have access to all this, so that's why I was not sure.
Right. You could take, you put 499 or you could take 500.
Sure, Professor. Professor, now like you have completed chapter 4 quiz, can you go over one question from chapter 9 quiz, please?
Oh, not yet. Not yet. Hold on 1 second. Let me just finish. Which one? Hold on. Okay. Which one? Hold on 1 second. All right. Tell me when to stop. Are you looking at my screen?
Yes, I can see the next one. No, not this one. This one. No, sorry. The next one. There's another one, Daily Enterprises. Yes, this one.
Okay.
My answer is wrong. Like, I don't know why.
Okay. So what did you do? Okay. Can you show me at the end of the class?
Sure, Professor.
Because then I'll be able to see what you've done wrong.
All right. Okay. The
All right.
answers should be in negative, both of them.
No, only one. The top one. That's what I said. You weren't here, right? Oh, you weren't. You probably weren't here in the class. That's what I said. Only the top one because you're out the money. Right? For year zero, right? You go in and you're buying this piece of equipment. You're buying this machinery. Right? You go in and you walk in and you're buying this piece of equipment for $10 million, 10.2 million, and you're going to have it delivered. So you're out this money, like sunk cost, right? That means that you can't get it back. You just bought it. You know, I just bought a crane or a big piece of machinery, right? So I'm out the money. Now I'm allowed to depreciate that amount each year. Each year I'm allowed to depreciate. I'm going to depreciate. I'm going to divide it by 5. Each year I'm allowed to depreciate this amount by 5. I'm going to divide this by 5. So it's going to look something like this, right? 4.3, but first you got to do this, right? Order of operations. And then you make your subtraction. Then you times that by 1, the tax rate, 1 minus 0.35, right? And after you do that, you get your 616,850, you have to add back the depreciation. So you divide this by 5 first, right? And then you add the 616. This is what you, each year, this is what your numbers would be on your books. Okay? So wait after class. I'll look at your quiz exam and I'll tell you what you did wrong.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay? All right. Hold on. So class, again, with this question, we're going to end it tonight doing this question, and then we're going to do this again a couple of times because this is the question that most people get wrong on the exam, believe it or not. If it's not 1, it's 2 questions, if not 3. If it's not part A, part B is wrong, part C. Okay, so let's start. This is saying that
Share,
we
please.
know the whole.
We can't see your
Am I
screen.
sharing it? I'm not sharing it, right? Okay, can everybody see it now?
Yes.
Okay, so this right here, the first thing is to calculate the future value. I'm retiring. I need to know the future value. If I'm saving $5,000 a month, for 43 years at a rate of 10%, right? So, N equals 43, IY equals 10, payment is negative 5,000. It's coming out, right? Present value is 0, and then compute for future value. You should get 2,962,003 spot 46. Round to the nearest cent. The second part of the question is asking you if you had the money up front when you were 22 years old. Someone left you some money, right? And you walked into the institution, and he or she who's processing your investment for you, your account, tells you, you ask, how much money do I need to put in right now to have, in a lump sum right now, to have 2,962,003 spot 46. So I like to do it, keep it uniform. So I'm going to say N equals 43, IY equals 10%. I'm not going to, you could use payment, but let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's not use payment for the second part. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to put future values, 2,962,003 spot 46, and then compute for present value. Then I'm going to come out to 49,169.99. Okay? Now, the third part of the question is saying to you, once you have the money and you hope to live for 20 years and you want to squander it, you want to spend it, how much can I withdraw for 20 years, right? I'm 65, so I'll be 85. How much can I withdraw every year till I exhaust everything? So N equals 20. IY equals 10%, 10. Right? Now I'm calculating for payment. Future value is 0. I have the money now. It says you can withdraw. I have the money in my hand. So my present value is 2,962,00346. So that's the present value. I have the money. I have it. Presently, I have the money. Right? And then compute for payment. And I should get 347,915 spot 81. Okay? The second part, now I'm solving for N. Okay? So now what do? I say N, I leave N alone, and then I go like this. I say IY equals 10%. Payment equals negative 300,000. Right? Future value is 0. I have the money. Present value is 2,962,003 spot 46, and I compute for N. I should come out to 45 spot 84. Okay? Lastly, I am computing for IY, but this is a completely different set of numbers. The only thing that is the same is the fact that it's the N equals 43. That's the only thing. So I'm going to say N equals 43. I leave IY alone, right? Payment is negative 1,000. present value is 0. I want to have $1 million in the future. So future value is 1 million, and then compute for IY, and I should come out to 11.74. Ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you, I know, I'm just telling you, please go over this. You can watch the recordings. These two, right? This and this are both present values that you're going to be using, C and D. Keep in mind what this is saying. You have the money. You're retired now. You have the money. It's stating that you have the money. Then what? That's what happens. The last part is it's different. Assuming you can afford to save is 1,000 per year, right? It's still 43 or whatever this is, right? Now, my lab changes these numbers on this problem all the time. So that's why you need to know the concept. Okay. I am having a class on Monday at 8 o'clock. You're welcome to join in. I am doing this on my own to help everyone out who would like to participate. It's not mandatory, but I will be here Monday. All right, Alexis. Monday at 8 o'clock. So if you would like to join us, you're more than welcome. All right. Have a good evening, and I will see you on Monday. Okay. All right. Take care.
Professor, did you see my email?
Which one? You emailed me today?
I did. No, actually, I think it was yesterday.
Which address? You use Queens College?
I'll tell you in a second. I'm sorry.
Rosario?
I'm here.
Okay,
I
listen
think
to
it was
me.
to the Q. Yes,
Which one?
it was to QC. qc.cuny.edu. Roland.Mitchell.
Give me 1 second. Let me look at it. Soel, don't go anywhere. Hold on. Just let me see. Let me just look at something. Hold on.
Suel and I, we could do the
I'm waiting.
same ones together.
No, 1 second. 1 second. Let's take 1 second. And I was just on there. How come I didn't see your email?
I don't know, but I'm sad. I sent you my work. I'm like, what am I doing?
Today?
Huh? That was
I don't see
yesterday.
anything from you.
Hmm?
I don't see anything from you from Queens College. I got
It's coming from Rosa GNZLZ at yahoo.com to you. The same email that I use. Last night.
I don't see it, my dear.
What do you mean?
I don't see anything. Hold on. No, I don't see anything from you. Last email
You're gonna
that
tell me, wait a minute.
maybe you
I
sent
never
it.
hit send.
Huh?
I never hit send. Oh my God.
Oh, okay. All right. Send it and I'll look at it and send it now. Let me just finish with Sorrel. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's see what you did. Sorrel. Sorrel,
Yes, Professor, I'm with you.
I see what you did. And that question. You didn't put the negative.
On which one, Professor? The first one?
10,248,000.
I have to put negative.
Yeah, you didn't do that.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you so much. God bless
Okay.
you, Professor. Thank you.
All right. And I sent you the email.
I got you, Professor. I got it.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Good night. Professor,
good night.
one thing, I will not be able to come on this.
Don't worry. Don't worry. You're good. You're good. You can watch the recording.
I work full time, so sorry.
Okay. Don't worry. Don't worry, my man.
Thank you.
Do your thing.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Okay. Rosa,
All right, I'm here. I have to try
did
to
you send
figure
it?
out. No, I have to figure out how to attach these
What happened?
pictures.
Tell me.
I don't
Oh,
know. I don't know. So I want you to see my work. I'm like, why? Why
No,
is
no.
this happening to me?
I believe you. Okay. I believe you. Don't worry. Listen to me. This is what I want you to do. I want you to do your best on the final. I want you to do your best on the final. So that's why I'm having these additional classes for everyone that needs additional help. Okay?
But it's like,
Just take your time.
it
Just-
takes my time. Oh my
All
God.
right. We're working out. All right? All right.
I'm
Send
gonna
it to me. when
cry.
you
I'm
can.
gonna cry.
No, don't do that.
Did you
Please
see
don't.
my
There's
you
no
see
need
my
for
test? You see my test score?
There isn't any need for that. Just stick with it. Okay?
But did you see my test score? So
Which one?
I'm the quiz yesterday. Like I did well on my homework. I did the quiz, and I'm like, oh my God, where did I go wrong? Is it
Let's
that I don't
see.
have test taking skills anymore? I don't
No,
know.
don't say that, please. Okay, let's look at it. Okay.
I don't know. It keeps putting you in. I'm trying to do this on my phone because I have the pictures on my phone, and it keeps. I'm like, send it. I'm trying to send my work to you. Oh, I think it might be sending now. It keeps putting it in a draft.
Now look what you did in the one of the answers. You put 9852 and then you put 0.000. It should be negative. I'm sorry, it should be a comma. You had the right answer.
Let
You had the
me.
right answer.
Which number are you looking at, Professor?
I'm looking at number 4 on the quiz.
I'm like writing my own book. If you look at my book,
No, but if you look at
number 4.
okay, click on your on the one that says Delhi Enterprises purchasing 9.8, the machinery, the long one.
Uh-huh.
Now look what you answered. Click on that little red dot there. on top of the 9852.
Negative. Oh, I put a decimal.
Right. That's wrong.
Oh my God.
And then on this one, you forgot to add back the, you did everything right. You got this right, but you forgot to add this to it, this part. That's not the final answer. The final answer is 604 plus this answer.
Wait, I can't see you. I'm gonna have to switch my screen. The 604.
Hold on, let me, hold on. All right, you looking at my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, see this is what you did everything right. You did except this part, 604. Now, when you're done with the 604,
Oh, I was supposed to add back the depreciation.
right. So let's see what else. Okay, so you know what you did wrong, these two. Right?
Okay.
Let's see what happened here. This one, 552,890.
That's the first one.
How did you get 1982? Okay, so
I don't know
this,
because I don't even have that.
all right, here we go. So here, right? All you have to do, you see what you did on this one? This calculation that you did here,
Mm-hmm.
up to this point, this right here. That's what you should have done here. But I don't know how you came up with 1982.
I have
I got a
for
feeling
the
you
machine
forgot
and the transport, I have the 9,747,000, and then the 9,747,000 divided by 5,
right?
I have 1,949,400. And I'm gonna check that, double check that now. So 9,747,000 divided by 5 is 1,949,400. And then
Okay.
the revenues is $5,000. So 5,000 minus 949,400 is 3,050,600.
The revenue? Wait a minute.
What aren't we doing revenues plus incremental costs,
Yeah. So
right? So it's the 3.9 plus the 1.1 is 5 million.
no, you don't add them. You subtract.
That's why.
3.9 subtract 1.1.
Okay, that
Right?
explains that.
You subtract. Look at my screen. That's how it
Yes.
looks.
Okay, I added it.
Yeah.
What else do I have wrong there?
Hold on.
Let's do number 2. I have a partial. Oh, I think I know. No, I don't. Let me see.
Again, you put the decimal point.
Mil, 3
This was
mil.
right. The answer is right. You put decimal point there instead of a comma.
This is horrible.
And then let's see what you did here. You answered 100,000. It should be negative. Remember, I told you the network capital should always be negative here. You did the
But
right
it has,
thing. Put
but
down
the
the wrong number.
parentheses. Oh, can I see it again, the answer? I'm sorry.
You put positive. Should be
Oh,
negative.
I didn't put the little negative. Okay.
Now let's look at the other one, last one.
I have it in my book as negative. Oh,
Let's see what happened here.
Coco Mochi. Oh my,
You did the same thing again. You put points instead of the commas.
oh my God.
Let's see what you did here.
Now,
You answered 70.
7,071,000. And the answer is 7,071,000? No, it's,
I don't know. Oh, wait a minute.
get answer feedback, Professor? Do you have to put answer feedback?
No, I don't know what you did.
You know what? I don't know what happened there. I try to go back. It was kind of weird because it
you know
was
what?
it was
I
asking
think
me, "Are you sure you want to exit?" And I'm like, "No, I see little reds. I
No,
want to fix it, but it didn't let me fix it."
he did something after the fact. We're going to go over this again. We're going to do this one more time. So keep that in mind, okay?
Yes.
All right. Just do your best. That's all I'm asking. Right? And be careful with putting the points. These are commas, not decimals. Okay?
Yes. Now, can we look at my overall score, which I'm very sad? Because that's like obviously it went down. Every time I take a quiz, it goes down. I do my homework, I'm fine. I take a quiz and it goes down. So what am I gonna do for my final?
You got to do your best.
See, it's 63. What do I have to get on a final?
I don't know, but you got to do your best. Do
Now,
your best.
because I have it incomplete, I cannot withdraw. There's nothing to withdraw. I have to get a
Don't
grade.
withdraw. Take the final. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So
I'll
good
see
night,
you
my dear.
Monday. See you
All right.
Monday. Thank you, Professor.
Okay. You're very welcome.
Good night.